We're now joined by the Baylor coach, Scott Drew. Coach, welcome, and your thoughts about the upcoming season.
Well, like every coach, you're always excited till you lose the first game. I know we have a lot to replace with Al Freeman, Ish Wainwright, Jonathan Motley no longer at Baylor. They achieved a lot of great things while they were there. But each and every year, that means you have new guys that have an opportunity to step up. We have 4 seniors, T.J. Maston, Nooney Omot, point guard Manu's returning, and Big Joe in the middle's returning. So excited for those 4 to have a chance to lead this team. As far as the season goes, probably the toughest thing each and every year, it seems like, is picking the coach's preseason poll from the standpoint. There's so much parity in the league. That's why RPI-wise we finished first, and second the last 4 years. There is no easy game. There is no bottom. And so many games come down to 1 or 2 possessions. Who makes free throws, who makes the right plays. That's what makes Big 12 basketball so exciting. That's all I got.
Okay, we'll take questions for Coach. If you put your hands up, we've got our 2 microphone ladies. And again, we'll start on the right-hand side. Name and affiliation, please.
Good morning, Coach. Carlos Mendez, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. You mentioned the preseason poll, and the coaches obviously put Jamie third. You know, as you think back on your first year in the league, 10 or 12 years ago, what were your impressions of what he did his first year in the league?
Well, I'm up to 15, so I like 10 or 12. But everyone knew coming in that they returned a lot of good players, and Coach Dixon has a great reputation, does an outstanding job in getting teams to play as a team and to their full capability. But we knew coming in talent-wise they were going to be good, and they were. Excited they won the NIT. We also had won that, and it gave us a big boost for the next year.
Got a question on the aisle on the right.
Hi, Scott. Blair Kirkhoff with the Kansas City Star. Is Joe ready to kind of take the next step offensively? And I know you lose a lot with Jonathan.
Well, I think he, every player has their own strengths, and he's such a good defensive player. Led the Big 12 in block shots, all defensive team. Jonathan Motley's such an efficient scorer. Joe's improved that area, but what makes Joe special still defensively, he's one of the best in the country. And definitely he'll pick up some of the scoring slack, but I know what makes him special for us is his defensive prowess.
Got a question on the aisle right.
Chuck Carlton, Dallas Morning News. In that same vein, you become more of a, kind of the hallmark of Baylor since you've been there is you've had some really good inside scorers. That's been kind of, especially on your best teams. Do you become more of a perimeter team this year without Motley, or do you think you can make up for his production inside?
Well, the reason we've been so successful, I think, with interior scorers is each and every year the returning players improve so much. And I think, again, because of the leadership and the young guys going against great players each and every day in the inside has made them better. Iron sharpens iron. So with that, I know TJ's capable of scoring. Tristan Clark, our freshman's capable. Joe's improved that. So I think we will still have that interior scoring. At the same time, I know our perimeter with Manu is the most proven and best returning scorer.
Got a question on the aisle.
Scott, is there an update on Leonard Allen? Is he going to be with you guys?
Right now there is no scheduled return time, so he's taking care of personal issues, and once that's resolved, then he will return.
Got a question on the rear.
Jeff Borzello, ESPN. How difficult has it been, not just Leonard being out, but Tyson's hurt, a couple other guys are banged up. How difficult has that been, especially when you have to replace so many guys, just getting everyone together before the season?
Well, the toughest thing is, it takes 5 on 5, and right now we're down to 7 scholarship players that are healthy. So the best thing is when you're going against other scholarship players in practice, you get a better indication of what areas you need to improve in and what areas you need to get better in. When you only have 7 out there and you have guys going against walk-ons, then it's fool's gold sometimes as far as what what you need to work on, what you need to improve. The other thing is it changes just what you're able to do contact-wise, because you can't risk other injuries. So we'll get Tristan Clark back here shortly. That'll get us to 8, and then from there, hopefully we'll continue to get some people back in the next couple weeks. If you have any good non-contact drills, please pass them this way.
You're not going to let him off this easy, are you? Got a question on the right?
All the tough questions Peter wants to answer, though.
Scott, after your time in the league and, as you said, 15 years, going Sweet 16 last year and a run of Sweet 16s, you're picked 5th in the league this year, behind a team that lost 22 games last year and TCU on the upswing. I was just curious, is that an accurate representation of, you think, where this team is right now?
Well, I think it's a tribute to what we lost, and also for the other teams, what they return. But I know coaches never put too much stock in the preseason polls because injuries, chemistry, leadership, that stuff all reveals itself during the course of the season. And one thing every Big 12 coach will tell you is there is no bottom in the Big 12. And because of the parity, I mean, if you win a couple close games, you get the momentum, you get the confidence, and now you have a great year. You lose a couple close games, and if you don't have good leadership, now that can lead to a down spiral and a bad year. And your margin of error is just so thin in the Big 12. And again, that's why RPI-wise, it's been the best conference 3 out of the last 4 years and second last year.
Question in the middle, then we'll come back to the right.
Coach Justin Jackson with the Dominion Post. I was just kind of wondering, obviously, Motley was a kind of an example of what can happen when you redshirt in college basketball, which is kind of rare. Kind of wondering, Mark went through that last year as a redshirt. How do you find success getting kids to redshirt at a time when kids just don't want a redshirt and they want to play right away?
Yeah, everybody would like to be in the league after 1 year. We know that, yeah.
And how did Mark take that redshirting last year, and did it benefit him?
Well, the good thing is we've had success with players that have redshirted. Corey Jefferson was drafted in the league. Jonathan Motley, Epe Udo transferred, sat out a year, and in 1 year was a 6th pick in the draft. I think the big thing is when people choose to redshirt, because we never make anyone redshirt. We'll present the options to them. They listen to their peers a lot, and the past players, the older players, are allowed to tell them how they feel and how it went. And I think because of those examples, people have been more apt to take advantage of that. The great thing is if Jonathan Motley would have wanted to come back, he would have been able to. That's where it's each person has their own individual choices. Some people are injured. Al Freeman was injured, and that's why he chose to redshirt. But again, I think each situation is different. Big scheme of things, normally people are better players at 22 than they are at 18.
Question on the outside right.
Coach, the league has changed, obviously, since you came in 15 years ago. But what are the challenges for, new guys like Jamie and Chris and now Mike in this league?
Well, I think the toughest thing for any coach in the league is just the margin of error is so small. And you go into a game and so many games come down to 1 or 2 possessions, and you can have a big win, you can have a big loss, and the next game is just as tough, no matter perception-wise. You might be playing a top 10 ranked team, and then you're on the road against a team that's not ranked that people think should be an easy win, and there is no easy wins, and that's just as hard a game as the game you had previously. So the longer you're in the league, the more you understand that, and I think that's why returning players are so critical, because they've gone through the rigors of the Big 12. They've gone through the ups and downs, and hopefully they don't get too high after a win and they don't get too low after a loss, because if you're not ready for the next game, you got no chance.
Final question for Coach. Okay, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.